Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Tarot with Anne-Marie. Hi, how are you all? I'm just going to bring my camera down a little bit. So welcome to my channel. Today we're venturing into the realm of the tarot cards yet again, specifically one of the most intriguing and most misunderstood cards, the Devil. So, have we got people listening from all parts of the world joining us? We'll give you a bit of chance to sort of come on in and say hi. Hello, Gus. Hello. Hi, how are you? Are you well? Thank you very much for your lovely comment. It's lovely to see you. So, welcome to this very intriguing card. So, let's see, have we got more people coming in? Do say hello and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything in this wonderful sort of tutorial all about the major arcana, and then we'll be doing the minor arcana, I guess. Okay, don't forget on Tuesdays I show you how to actually use the card that I'm teaching you on Thursdays. Okay. Hello, Passionate Saji. Hi, how are you? Oh, it's lovely to have you. I hope you're well. Lovely. This is a good one, isn't it? The one that everybody goes, what do I say? What does it mean? Well, let's go through some of the symbolic weight that this major arcana card carries. It's got a lot of imagery and a lot of meanings, and it's quite mysterious too. And it's linked to the astrological sign of Capricorn. So we've got to look at the deepest significance of this fascinating card. First of all, we're going to be looking at the traditional Rider-Waite card, as I always do, the Devil. And we're going to move over onto my PDF where I can show you the Devil card, and you can look and see exactly what I'm talking about. But before I do, I want to actually say that this is the one you've been waiting for. Oh, good. I'm really pleased. Oh, good. I hope you're feeling better, darling. I know that you're a bit under the weather. And Zoe won't be joining us tonight. So if you want to come on, just let me know. If you don't, that's absolutely fine. Okay, this is the one you probably want to turn around and go, right, let me find out what you're going to say. And then if you want to ask questions, don't forget the link. Now, I'm going to put that up on the screen, and Tony will probably paste it on there for you as well. So let me just remind you what this is. So I'm back. That was our little link. If you do want to come on and discuss anything, probably best if I actually go through the card first, and then you're very welcome to use that link. I'm sure Tony will actually post it on there for everyone to actually see. This is the one you've been waiting for as well. Oh, sorry, I've put that one up. This is the almost most interesting card, but almost. What's the other one? Oh, good. That's absolutely fantastic. So, I'm really sorry. My dog is barking outside. I'm sure he's going to stop in a moment. So, let's just give that a second. So, on this card, we are seeing a central imposing figure. And it's a creature with horns and bat wings. Look at his head. An inverted pentagram on his forehead. And this figure embodies the darker aspects of our human nature, mainly temptation, materialism, and sometimes addictions. Addictions can be things like, I used to be addicted to Diet Coke. You know, we can be addicted to too much fun, too much hard work. So don't feel that it's addictions in the naughty end of things, you know, like alcohol and, okay? So I'll leave it to your imagination. It can be, of course, but when we look next week, and next week is going to be really exciting because we'll be fusing two cards together and I'll be showing you how you would know what that meaning is when we bring a minor card. So there's 56 different ways of interpreting each major arcana card. Why? Because we fuse them together. I'm not doing that tonight. I'm just saying to you, don't miss it. Because when you actually go, oh, gosh, I don't know what to say. Tonight's about how to read this card. And Tuesday, I always forget which day I'm doing it. Sorry, I have to look at the calendar on my Mac. And yeah, on Tuesdays, we do two cards. So I fuse this major card that we're studying on Thursday, tonight being the devil, with minor cards, all right? So it's a very interesting one. So yeah, it embodies the darkest sides of our human nature. If we look underneath, you can actually see there are two small chained figures, but smaller than the devil, shall we say, below the devil. And these figures are of a man and a woman, and we've met them before. Okay, I wonder if anyone can tell me where we've seen these two before. Okay, so please do let me know if you know the answer to that. And this man and woman represent our potential enslavement, and that's to our lower desires. This isn't always about the most obvious vices. Sometimes those chains can signify self-limiting beliefs, our unhealthy attachments to things. Oh, you know, I can't do that. I'm restricting my own personal freedom. So it can be something very, very different to what we think. It's not, oh, I'm addicted to money, I'm addicted to this, I'm addicted to that, you know, to Diet Coke or something. It can be, I'm addicted to working hard, I'm addicted to actually always going out, I'm addicted to always asking someone to join me when I go shopping because I don't like to be on my own. Or I like my own company, the opposite of that. So it's about how we limit ourselves in our physical world. And it's the devil is us, talking to us and giving us some very bad advice at times too. But we're human, and this is what it's all about. Now let's look at the colours in this card, quite dark. Devil figures, striking sort of character there, and that fiery hue is associated with passion, primal energy, but it's also about danger and being impulsive. And the background's dark to kind of say, oh, this is a shadowy space, suggesting that there's temptations and that we tend to operate in the hidden corners of our psyche. Don't forget that the number 15 is the number of the devil card in numerology. 15 reduces to 6. And that brings me back to who this man and woman are. We've seen them before in card number 6, the Lover's card. And this creates the interesting duality of telling us that extreme indulgence, i.e. the devil, is often distorted and a reflection of our deeper longing for connection and love, i.e. the lovers. The Capricorn connection, well, Capricorn is the ambitious and grounded earth sign and has a peculiar link to the devil card. It represents the aspects of worldly experience, achievements, our relationships, our material gain, and Capricorn teaches us how to build. The devil warns us that when we're building, it can become an obsession. And those creations can end up controlling us, you know? So what does it mean? Well, the devil in a tarot reading is multifaceted. And so its positive meanings are the temptation and lure is giving us instant gratifications. Addiction or unhealthy behaviours or something that we kind of like to actually experience overcoming. Feeling trapped in a situation or a relationship can actually be our own mindset. And we've got hidden aspects that we need to face up that are part of ourself. Some people call it the shadow self. It's the ego. And the ego is meant to protect us. It's not meant to be sending us into places that cause us to feel that we are, shall I say, in emotional bondage. So the negative meanings of this card are, it's about limitations, destruction in our patterns of behaviour. We need to be able to reclaim our own personal power when we've got this card and find the strength to break free from things. And it's about telling you that it's a bit like saying, if there's, when you get tarot cards, a good way of looking at it is saying, if we've got a weather forecast, it doesn't mean that if there is a storm coming, that it's going to actually rain on you, or lightning and thunder are going to be on you and it's only you. That's the weather forecast. What's the outlook like? Well, it looks like, you might need to take an umbrella. You might need to actually plan to be in a place where you're not near the lightning and the thunder. You've got to be in a place where you say, I'll go shopping tomorrow instead of today because the weather's not good. Devil card is kind of like saying to you, look, this is the weather forecast. You've got to break free from these limitations and these destructive patterns. You can get your personal power back and you can find your inner strength. It's not a prediction that, oh my gosh, you are completely restricted, you are completely in a place of not being able to do anything but be a victim. Not at all. It's about realigning your focus and connecting back to your spiritual growth. But we are humans, and so therefore understanding our true needs as opposed to just fleeting desires. So don't think of this card as bad luck. It's more about being aware, like I said with the weather. This card challenges to examine what truly holds the power over us, and it's usually ourselves. And that can be external circumstances or our own internal attachments. So it's got quite a lot going on, hasn't it, this card? Anybody got any questions before I move on? I've got one. Can anybody tell me if everything in the sound is okay, please? Are we okay? Yeah, can I have a thumbs up? Can you hear me all right? Because I've said quite a lot and I'd hate for the sound not to be right. The other night I had background noise going on. I just can't have that. All right. Okay. Passionate Sergi, can you give me a thumbs up? Can you hear me all right? I presume you can. Nobody's complained. So I really would like you to kind of send me some emojis so I know everything's okay. I've got thumbs up earlier, but that wasn't to tell me exactly what was going on. Hang on a minute. Have I got some new comments? Gosh, yes, I have. For some reason, this was really falling behind. Right. Okay. Right. This is a problem combining with other cards. Tuesday. Okay. Let's get the bare bones of this card first, and then we can blend it. Hi. I'm really sorry this has not been kind of keeping up with me. I will go on in a minute, folks, but I just want to say hello. Oh, how funny you are, Zoe. 666, huh? Okay, all okay. Passionate Sagittarius. I do apologise, I just didn't. So that was really good of you to do that. Thank you very much for that. Okay, so our description. So this card shows the devil, as we know, being represented as a figure of Baphomet. Okay, and along with this, we've got him appearing as half goat and half man. The devil's got bat wings, hasn't he? And he's got that inverted pentagram. Get the dog's teeth in. Inverted. I'll get there in a minute. Let me have a sip of water. Sorry. So he's got the inverted pentagram on his forehead. Got that. And he's sitting on a pedestal. And there's that pedestal is a very funny shape. We'll talk about that in a minute. And in front of him is this nude man and woman. as if to show that he's got domination over them. All right? And if we look, both the man and woman have now got horns. Now, in the Lovers card, when these two turned up as Adam and Eve, they didn't have horns. And that kind of represents that the more time we spend with the devil, the less human we become. So it's all about symbology. Now, the chains are made to appear as though the devil has got them captive and, in a place of bondage. And that man's got a flame on his tail, whereas the woman, if you look, she's got grapes on her tail. And that symbolises their addiction to power and the finer things in life. So if we look closely at both the man and the woman, they don't really look very happy. Their individual power's been taken away. And leaving behind them, they are feeling exposed and ashamed of their nakedness. Now, that's to represent. Normally, when we see nakedness, it's innocence, like in the Lovers. I've got nothing to hide, complete transparency. But here, they are feeling shame. If we get the Devil card in our reading, it suggests that we feel trapped, or an emptiness, or a lack of fulfillment in something. Or it could just mean that we feel slave to materialism, and no matter how much we try, we can't seem to shake off that feeling of wanting to kind of indulge in material life. We're feeling earthbound. So you might be aware that your lifestyle is leading you down a rabbit hole as such, but you feel that, any form of control is not in your hands. So that's what we mean when we say that it's like a bondage. We're feeling, oh gosh, what can I do? I must give up. There can be addictions to substances or material pleasures. And as I said, I used to be a fan of Diet Coke, and it was not good for me to drink 2 litres every day through the night. It wasn't through the day, it was through the night. There you go. Not a good thing. But it had a hold on me. I was convinced that's what I needed. So there's an example. Please do not think when you see this, somebody's addicted to, the negatives, the obvious ones, alcohol, etc. Okay, or even sort of, fine wine, women and song, as they say, or sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It can be, but you've got to be careful. You've got to look at this and go, well, hang on a minute, I'm not like that. So why would I actually think about that as the first thing that comes into a reading for someone I'm reading for? And so these material pleasures can be the reason for feeling powerless and entrapment. And we might feel like we're, some sort of slave, and we cannot control our impulses or our willpower. And it's usually something to do with ourselves and something of dissatisfaction that's going on within ourselves. So when the devil comes up, and it depends on how to pair it together, we've got to feed that in with a minor card, which Tuesday, on a good time. We mustn't get ahead of ourselves. So if it was a love reading, this could be about lust and temptation and, just not being someone that's got, they're selfish, they want what they want. And, it can just simply mean that this person just wants to have a good time, life's earthly pleasures. Don't be so hard, as in, if we look at people now, today, and I know there's a lot that's not right out there in the world, but generally, not everyone's walking around and doing what the textbook versions would have us think, because it's limited what they can write. Okay, it is limited. But there's nothing wrong with having a bit of fun. So the devil is also a card of fun. But you've got to make sure that you're not hurting yourself or others, or giving the wrong impression while you're doing it. And, if you are somebody that's just looking to kind of, be a free agent, maybe you need to communicate that to your date, if that's what it's about in matters of love, and don't feel that you're putting too much pressure on other people, making them feel, emotional bondage to you. So, if this comes up in a reading, it's usually to do with, well, if that's how you feel, just be straight up about it. Be gentle, be kind, but communicate. It's really important and how you actually feel about that, okay? So why does he come along after Temperance when everything was in balance and all the rest of it? This guy that's sitting there on his perch, half beast, half man, with a horned goat's head and that pentagram, which is inverted. Let's talk about the pentagram. When it's upright, this one is not. So, a pentagram should actually have that 5-pointed star as in opposite of what we're seeing. And that pentagram would normally represent the 5 points, and that's of the body, which is the head, the arms and the legs, and the 4 elements, and the 5th element being spirit. So when the pentagram's upright correctly, it suggests that the body's in balance and connected with spirit. When the pentagram is inverted, as we see with the Devil card, the connection with the spirit is lost. And that's when our animalistic nature and passions can take control. So in front of the Devil, this man and woman from the Lover's card are wearing very loose chains around their necks, and it's binding them together. So the presence of the horns, as in on their heads, suggests that they've lost the innocence of they once had when they were the lovers, because the Devil's holding a torch, and look, he's igniting, if you look, that man's animalistic nature. That torch is pointing down to his tail. So the Devil is representing control, illusion, deception, and materialism. And the Devil leads us to believe that we've got no choice in life, that we're stuck. There's a saying, isn't it? Better the devil you know than the devil you don't. And that's when we go, oh, I don't want to make any changes. I don't want to, They wear these chains really loosely, but they believe that the devil is trapping them. Well, remember I said the devil is an aspect of ourselves. It's us that's doing that. We're the ones that's putting pressure on ourselves. You can only be controlled if you allow yourself to be controlled. And so blaming others for their predicament and the fear that they're going to have to give up what they have. Oh, I don't want to do that. It means, I won't have my fun, I won't have my money, I won't have my this, I won't have my holidays. I'm a slave to this. So when it comes up in a reading, the actual meaning of this card is you've got to look at, is life controlling you? Or, you need to control your own life and not try to control others or yourself in such a harsh way. It just might be that there's an overly concern on the material side of life. So we might feel trapped and powerless to change our situations or even free ourselves. And we might have given our power away to someone else, sticking with a job that we're just not happy in. Okay, so I'm going to put some keywords on for you, and then I'm going to come back to this. So let's just have a little bit of a look at this, and then I'll be back, and we'll carry on. That was a bit slow coming back in. Sorry, I did press the button as soon as that music in the background finished. So I put that up for you to just give you a chance to have a look. And do remember that if you're not able to make the live, or you can only watch some of it, I am recording them and editing out the bits where I'm talking to you all, so that you can kind of watch it as a tutorial with all seriousness. I've still got to have my personality there though. Okay, so Devil's numbered 15 and can be one of those really, really scary sort of cards that people say, oh, I just want to leave it out, I don't want to look it up. But the one, number 15, 1 and 5, okay, so the number 1 is a number for desire of achievement, and it connects us to drive, power, and 5 connects us to our mental self and conflict. So when we've got 1 and 5, and we know that, you know, if we add them together it makes 6, and we arrive at 6, the number of the Lover's card again. So number of the Lover's card was all about, if you remember what that card meant, attraction, choice, and adapting to life and its circumstances and having choices. But the number 15 as a whole will give us strength and attraction. But sometimes 15 is a number that reduces our ability to recognise the truth, as it were, and it signals a lack of groundedness. You know, we can be carried away, as in, and in this case, it's usually to do with material things. So the card's got the black background, and it shows the image of the devil perched above that man and woman. And the colour shows the dark side of the personality. That's what the black sort of is symbolic of. Unlike our spiritual substance, we are spiritual beings, but we live in human bodies. And so we're subject to physical desires and needs throughout our life, aren't we? So we're in a constant battle between our higher spiritual and our physical self. So the devil is within us. It's not separate. This is what I was saying earlier on. It's not an outside force. So being scared and saying it's someone else, no. It's us. And if it comes up in, you know, we were talking about in different positions in a spread, and it is about the influences of others, then you've got to take control back for yourself and go, actually, I don't want to be in a place of emotional bondage to anyone. So the devil represents our instincts and our impulses and our physical self, and our spiritual self seeks, you know, to try and understand, but the physical self is trying to control. And so we've got to actually try and get a balance so that we are in a place of accepting, of being able to get knowledge and enlightenment. So the devil is not a positive spiritual energy, but it's a practical force. And that is where we get the emphasis on materialism. Do you see what I mean? It's not a spiritual need, but it's rather a practical thing. You know, we are in a place of going, hold on a minute, I have got to pay my bills. So, you know, I'm a slave to what I've got to do. I'm not happy about it and I want to blame other people. Well, they'll probably let you go if you don't want to do it. Oh, but I've got to. Well, perhaps if you weren't so decadent in certain areas, you know, the more you earn, the more you spend. That kind of thing. You know, just a little ism. Okay, so the devil is taking on the form in this card, as I said, of Baphomet. And Baphomet has the torso and eyes and arms of a man. The feet, if you look, and the wings of a bat, and the head and the legs of a male goat. So this symbolises the idea of rational and thinking man who's joined in being corrupted by our animal instincts and driven by our base instincts. Incidentally, goats are often associated with the devil, while sheep are seen as peaceful followers of Christ. So Goats are much more independent and temperamental, and they're guided by instinct rather than obedience. So that's where the symbology of that comes in. The bat's wings, bats are usually associated with darkness and death in lots of different cultures. And Baphomet's wings are spread out, allowing him to show that he's dominating that space, trying to intimidate the two below him. Right, now, if we look at the fact that he is sort of sitting on that pedestal, I want you to see that there's a little ring there with the chains, okay? But the chains are around their neck, and if you look, they're very loose. So these two could take them off if they want to, and that's the whole idea. And it doesn't appear that there's any padlocks or keys or anything like that in this card. So this image is giving us the deterioration of our human sort of physical side, neglecting our spiritual side. And I think I said that the pentagram represents the head and the limbs of the human body. The top of the star representing the head symbolizes spiritual and rational mind. And because it's flipped, as I said, this is triumph over matter, and now it's destroying all the positive energies. So that's why it's inverted. Everything that's good about it when it's upright, being down, it's symbolic that, you know, no chance, you know, you're not having protection. So that's its symbolic meaning. It's reversed, just to sort of say, well, this is normally a really good one. There's a few more in this that's symbolic, so bear with me. So this card represents the mental aspects of the devil. So it signifies how our thoughts can drive our desires and how our actions can be viewed through a very distorted lens of our own making. So, although the devil's hands are positioned a bit like, do you remember the magician? You know, this sort of, I can't stand up and do it for you, I'm sorry. You'll be able to see me, as in, my camera won't pick it up. I'm not set far back enough, but you've got my drift. It's the same pose. But with the magician, he was bringing down from heaven to earth to actually bring everything together, because he's got all the tools and he's actually using that to harness something very positive. In this case, it's not that at all. This is almost like he's bringing down creative energy, but it's coarse and it's a base energy that's only satisfying his needs. So it's like, you know what, this is about me. I'm doing this. I'm looking after number one. Look at his right hand. We've seen this in another card. If anyone knows what it is, I'd be very grateful that you actually share it with us. Okay, we're all very quiet again. Okay, right, so look at his right hand. Anyone can tell me where we have seen this blessing? And I go, blessing? Right, yeah, this comes from Jewish blessing. I can't pronounce, I think it's a canon, which is a blessing that's served and performed with both hands. Now, we get that in another major arcana card. Okay, so if anyone can tell me, that would be wonderful. If you can't, don't worry. But in this image of the devil in our tarot card, he's doing it with one hand, and this is normally a blessing that's given with both. So the gesture of the one hand is, you know, it's normally a benediction, it's normally a blessing and all of that. But because he's doing it with one hand, it can be seen as mockery. So it's a bit like, you know what, no, you know. And so the devil's representing dualities, including light and dark. And it's really significant that it is dark and light. It's not just darkness. And that single raised hand could be distorted and inverting the blessing and reflecting the card's theme of distortion and deception. So it could be twisted or disrespectful. Rather than that traditional blessing, it can imply manipulation or corruption of sacred symbols for sinister purposes. Remember, it's all symbology. It's not about forecasting, it's really about, it's like a blueprint of what's going on, a weather forecast. That's what a tarot reading really is. Now, he is presenting this blessing as an image of, oh, trust me, But if you look at his open palm, and while he's making that, I'm not very good at that. Okay, yeah, while he's doing that, look on the palm. There's an image of a cross, and that's to lure people in, to give them false hope, for those that need reassurance. So it's his left hand of logic and action that holds down the torch that's setting fire to this fellow's tail. And that's symbolic of a torch's illumination. It lights the way. Putting it down is the opposite. 1 minute, passionate Saggy, 1 minute. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely right. Well done. You say you're guessing. You're right. You are absolutely right. Well done, my darling. It is the Hierophant that gives that sign of the blessing. It's in another card too. I won't spoil that for you. If somebody knows what it is, please do type it in. It kind of lets me know sort of what you're thinking and what you're feeling and what you know and where you are in your journey with all of this. Okay, sorry about the background effects there. So the devil's sitting, I said he's sitting on a rectangular block, which is not a square, all right? And a square is even, isn't it? But if we look, this is a pedestal that's not even, it's rectangular. So this is uneven sides, which is kind of saying it lacks balance. That's the reason for that. And this supports the idea that the situation is unstable and can only be upheld by our actual sort of devil here that is actually reverting to the pedestal. So if it was a square, we'd kind of go, well, that is symbolic of a sense of security and equal sides and firm boundaries. And the patch is also representing imprisonment rather than security. And the anchorage with chains is actually saying that we feel that, we are enslaved in chains. It's like having a prison. And that is why we say it's kind of, we're imprisoned or we are in a place of bondage. But the chains are loose. And they are thought to be put there. There is a school of thought that we have put ourselves there by our own circumstances, our own situation, our own values, and our own limitations. So really, it's all about us, isn't it? So this represents a narrow set of beliefs that are distorted in our sense of reasoning, and it leads to us having personal limitations, and that's because we do it mentally and we do it emotionally. And the nakedness of this pair reveals the innocence and desire that causes them to trap themselves and seek to satisfy their needs. So the two individuals have got orange hair, which is symbolic and indicates an impulse and an energetic nature. And the man appears to be reaching to the woman, inviting her to join him in his fantasy. And she gazes at him with her arms, sort of suggesting that there's an openness to her. But that openness is also the darkness in her, you know. So the woman's tale of grapes shows her desire and greed for abundance, wealth and prosperity. And the grapes show a much more materialistic gain rather than the man's sexual and physical gratifying ones. She desires comfort, luxury, indulgence, and all the material things that can be gained, given, or even taken. Remember, we said the chains are loose enough and can be lifted and removed if the individuals that are enslaved or in captivity choose to do so. But the devil makes us believe, of course, that we lack the power to make those positive changes or even recognise our problems. We can then feel powerless and discouraged, and then we go, I'll stay where I am, better the devil I know, and I won't attempt to escape, because they feel that there's nothing in the escape that would actually lead to a different situation. They feel trapped, that it would be futile. And so sometimes as people, as humans, we become accustomed to our circumstances that are unfavourable, and we start to view them as acceptable, which can cause us to be less sensitive to things that are negative. That's really the point. So, a lot of this in this symbolism of the devil is our psychological or our emotional conditioning that comes from the materialism in our physical world. And it can make us feel fearful of letting go, of strong attachments. I don't want to let go of my job, I don't want to let go of my friend, I don't want to let go of the fact that, my job, even though I hate it. We feel powerless, we feel excluded. And the horns on our figures, as in our man and woman, really indicate that they've taken on the guise of their master and that really they're just going with the flow. But although the devil is a destructive sort of energy, practical energy, we accept it because humans adapt, don't they? Oh yeah, well, And sometimes we become so accustomed to these circumstances, we see them as acceptable, which can cause us such heartache. So, it's one of those things where we've got to actually look and say, let's not do things to excess. Let's not do things with self-limiting beliefs, things that we blame outside forces for, where they're probably self-imposed. And don't let us direct it towards other people, because we need to take accountability. Okay, we've got somebody doing what they normally do. We need to get rid of this person. Zoe, take the notice of the spammer that's coming in Facebook there. Okay, so in this card, we can be seen to be holding back against ourselves and giving away our power. And it's just our negative habits that they give us different perspectives. And that's not always the right one, because we're attached to something of a superficial thing that might not benefit us. So we can feel like victims. That's really what this card means. And we feel trapped. And we feel that this particular sort of set of circumstances is hurtful. And remember that, if it's coming from someone else, this card is saying to you, they can only do it and abuse you, whatever way it is, or use you when we give them a chance to use and abuse. So we've got to be, don't do it to yourself and don't let others do it to you. We can't blame them, because that means if we go, it's all about my circumstances and what can I do? Taking accountability And that's what this is. It's like the weather forecast. Don't go out in the rain. Look, watch what's happening. Oh, I can't go out in the rain, but I need to, have an umbrella and shield myself against the elements. The devil just indicates anything that's harmful or destructive. And just because we're reluctant to take control, we've got to look at that. And it often comes up in a reading when we feel that we've got no control. And it's where we're insecure and where we're scared and where we're doubtful. And it's just our narrow view and perspective that's going on here. And this attitude can imbalance the rest of and impact the rest of your lifestyle. Sometimes people will try and influence us, but you've got to kind of go, oh, sorry, gosh, no thanks. Oh, but I have to. No, I'm sorry, I'm busy. I'm sorry, no thank you. Or thank you for the invite, but I'm afraid I'm otherwise engaged. So don't allow yourself to be in a form of bondage, which leads you to feeling stuck because of others, or because of your own rules and regulations, or feeling trapped or unable to make changes. We have to get rid of that limited option and take accountability. So really, this is a card of being enslaved by our practical things. We put ourselves there. You go, I'm not that cruel to myself. We all go, oh, but I have to. Oh, but I can't. Oh, but I must. Oh, but this. We all do that. And so if we actually go, I can change it. If you're in an awful position, and believe me, I have been in dreadful positions in my time in jobs too, the worst, really. When I was very younger, the absolute worst. And yes, it was exactly this. And my boss who was doing it was a Capricorn. But that's because I let her. That's because I lived in as their nanny, as their home. And, I let it happen. My friends would have gone and did say, why are you letting her do that? And I'd go, oh gosh, it's just easier. So there's an example. And why did I go through that? It's all about treading the boards of experience. Now I would say, absolutely not. No, I'm going. And there's nothing you can do to me. No, my fear was, oh, she'll give me a bad reference. Oh, she won't pay me. She did all of that. So it's already happened, Okay, so when it happens to you, just go. No reference after 3 years, you didn't pay me. Well, it is what it is. So these things happen. But there's a good example. Do not feel, oh, that person was the devil. We allow ourselves, and we are humans, right? So, any questions? Yeah? So let me know if you've got any questions and comments, and let me know that you're looking forward to exploring this card and how to read it with other cards so it makes sense. And as I keep saying now, fusing it with minor cards, it gives you 56 different meanings to each major card. So Tuesday is combination tarot. Right, I'm going to play this. And yeah. Right, okay. This is something a little bit different. I've got Passionate Saji coming in a moment. Won't keep you waiting too long, Passionate Saji. But yeah, if you want some keywords and a worksheet, here is my, gosh, I've got so many. I forgot what I've called this one. You can find it on the website, keywords, professional keywords, not just, people call them cheat sheets. Yeah, it's tarot keywords. So there you go, you had a little look at that. And so that will give you some extra help if you want some keywords. All right, now I've got a real treat for you. We've got a guest come in, so bear with me. We're moving to you, my darling Passionate Saji. How lovely of you to come on in. We'll take a moment. So, Passionate Saji, I'm going to assign you as guest one, and I'm going to bring you in on my right, and then I'm going to try and give you a microphone. Hello, darling. How are you? Let's give you a microphone. Sorry. Hello, sweetie. Are you all right?
Hi, Anne-Marie.
Hello.
I am good, thank you.
Good.
I thought I'd quickly come in today because this devil card is my bugbear. It's definitely my bugbear.
I can understand, my darling.
Tuesday is going to be absolutely brilliant for me. It's just obviously on a Tuesday I can't come in and discuss because of work, and I'm usually sort of typing and listening in at the same time.
Oh, I'm
Um, yeah, 'cause-
sorry.
if I get the
Oh,
chance to go on Messenger, then obviously I can listen in and type in and sort of react to your show at the same
of
time. But
course. Of
so
course.
obviously it would have been lovely for Tuesday because it is hard.
Um, hold on. They can probably hear you, but I seem to have lost you. So annoying. Sorry, my darling. Just bear with us. Okay. No. Right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, got you now. I think, yeah, yeah. It,
Yeah, got me now?
yeah, got you. Sorry, darling, it's not you. Are you there? I haven't put you on mute.
Yeah,
And yeah, lovely. Okay,
tell me.
right.
Okay. Yeah, I was saying, like, for me, when this card comes up in a spread, I fumble. It's because there's so many areas of that darker side. And if I give an example, say I'm doing a relationship reading, and I can look at the energy of the person who's asking the question, then I look at usually it's the partner, and the devil card comes up, and I cannot fathom what area we're looking at with this person. So for
Okay,
me, it's like Tuesday's episode will be brilliant in terms of using the cards so that you can recognize and pick up what energy is coming from this person, why it's coming. I mean, a lot of times I get like the client will say to me, "Oh, yes, they're addicted to your relationship. They've got an alcohol problem, right?" And I know you said it's not always the case, but and straight away, once they've said it, I see it. But for me to just recognize it straight away, I fumble. And sometimes, I mean, your
understandable.
spread will absolutely help as well because, from what I've picked up from doing the course, I can see where sort of, in different areas, what you're looking for, right? But what I do at the moment, the spreads I use, sometimes I use like, the last card as a theme, and
Hmm.
if the devil comes up as the theme, I'm thinking to myself, what is it? What am I looking at?
If it
What is the
comes up
problem?
where did you
As
say?
sort of like the theme of the reading.
Yep,
And
yeah.
straight away, when you've just got that devil card in front of you, for me, it's like, well, what
It's not
area is
enough.
the
Yeah,
problem?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, you've been doing the course, you've started
Mm,
intermediate, yeah.
yeah.
Work with your position. I beg you. Don't go on to the next bit
Mhm.
until you've really got that. Work with your position. That would be
Yeah.
the first thing I'd say, because then you can see who, who is this about. That's the most
Yeah.
important. Always remember that it's always an aspect of the person having the reading as well. Never leave
Yeah.
that bit out. Yeah, because you know when they come in and they say, "I'd like to look at X with, my boss or my partner or whatever it is," like you
Mm-hmm.
said, but it's a two-way street because it's the person having the reading. We're seeing an aspect. Now, if that lands in their position, we can then see what the minor card's telling us, whether they're in emotional bondage to this person, whether they're allowing
Mm-hmm.
it, or whether they are all about, don't forget, I didn't really mention it because, I can only do so much on a live, but this is about status, reputation, ambition. Okay, and that comes from the 10th house because Capricorn is in the 10th house, and it's all
Mm-hmm.
about, yeah, it's so sometimes this is, I want to be a rock star, I want to be it. In actual fact, just let me switch screens for a minute. I'm keeping you there. I just want to, I think it's on number, what did I put it on? Sorry. I was going to play this. Right, can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Can you see on the left the devil card? That's from the
Mm-hmm.
enchanted tarot deck. There's our Liberace driving, smoking a cigarette, holding his money with his champagne, going the wrong way down a one-way street.
Yeah.
So, I want to make sure I
Yeah.
get back to the correct scene. So, hopefully I've got you there. So different cards will speak to us with different images, and there's a good one. So I really like that. And the middle card there was the light seers.
Mm-hmm.
It's an aspect of us, you know.
Yeah.
And so the person having the reading, it's part of them, but there may be the one that's going, oh, I'm not the devil, I'm the victim. The minor card will tell you. So you're really going to love that. So
Yeah.
all I can do on my lives is the card, the pairs support you. The courses will give you the system, the blueprint, as you already know. Oh gosh,
Yeah.
sorry, I seem to have done something a bit strange with my camera. I think I've got you on twice there. Sorry, sweetie. Something happening underneath. Sorry about that. It's a bit messy. If you look at your screen, I think you can sort of see, that we've got a little bit of view there. So I'm sorry that I just must have nudged my actual placement. So the most important thing that you really need to just look at is that this is about human practical desire, and a bit like, I'm not saying it's right, but I gave an example. I felt complete victim in my job. How come my, fellow nannies were having a fantastic time when I was 19, I think I was working with this lady. She was a Capricorn, and I'm like, oh, she's so harsh on me. She said, it's because I let her.
Mm.
People are only good at, and it's like, she probably thought, well, when are you going to stand up to me, Anne-Marie? And I did one day. I just said, I'm leaving. Oh, you can't go? I was like,
Yeah.
watch me. I did. But it takes a long time to be able, for some people, to get to that space. And it's not always today. So the minor card that comes in, it's just about something. I always say we're addicted. Sometimes we are addicted to, oh, well, I don't mind. Are you the person controlling? Or, when I said about it being the 10th house, sometimes it's about, you know what, I'm a superstar. Sorry, I'm a rock star. I'm somebody here that's actually turning up to just use who I can. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, and you see, I know that most of our readings on the lines or whatever, mind, body, and spirit places would be very different. I events, because they are there to grow, and that would be much more of a spiritual sort of reading. But when people are phoning up, as in now, they're either looking at someone or something that's affecting them perhaps a relationship, perhaps career, perhaps finances, perhaps I'm not getting the outcome I want. And the devil card will always come up because in my spread I will put out the 22 major cards with 22 minor cards as a pair. So I can see what's going on in what areas. And so therefore straight away in the position, if that comes up as in it's in their career, I know that, right, what's going on here is actually, okay, they are in a place of bondage to their career, but they quite like it because they actually want to be, you know, the one. They want to be taking charge. It's their status, it's their destiny. And you know, it's often a card of physical attraction. You know, also this card, you know, if you're reading it, quite often it'll come up and maybe you've got the Two of Cups with that. It's not negative. It depends where it is, but let's say it's in the position of the other person. It's like they fancy the pants off you. This person's got a real physical longing for you and they want to express it because they're emotional. You know, the Two of Cups, emotional. And so therefore, you know, this can come across as the only way they express themselves could be, a term of endearment is to be physical. And it's like the person might be thinking, well, are you using me? Oh, lost her. Oh, what a shame. Passionate Sachi, thank you so much for coming on. You know, it could be many, many things that's gone on there. I really, really hope you enjoyed this tutorial on the devil. I know it's a big one. Normally I'm a lot more serious, so I try to be a little quirky and a little bit sort of fun, so that I know it frightens people, but no need. No need. It is a card that is really, really quite special, has many, many meanings. Okay. So I'm back with you. So I hope that you will enjoy following me, and don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget the courses will help you far, far more than I can on YouTube. I can only do a little bit here for you. Oh, Passionate Sachi's come back. So let's bring her in. Hello, my darling. Let's bring you back. What am I looking for? Bear with me. I've got to find the correct scene to bring you in. There we go.
Sorry about that, Anna.
Oh,
My daughter was knocking the door. It is calling me at the same time.
You
Sorry
did the
about
right
that.
thing. Please don't. That's life. That's absolute life. It's like the dog was barking outside. There's 11 to keep quiet.
Yeah, just quickly open the door and say, I'm on a live.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, this can be many things, but I would say first of all the position. That's the important part.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
Passionate
Right.
Sachi, look at the position, and the second, the very important part is what's your minor card. So you know, if you've got some happy emotional cards, you know, it's like they want to express their emotions physically. Yeah. If it comes through, you've really not got to miss Tuesday, because I'm going to give some real, interesting ones where you go, wow. And
Brilliant. Yeah, I feel that's going to help a lot.
Especially if it's the fives. So listen out for the devil, and when I talk about the Five of Swords, Cups, Wands, Pentacles, because they ain't good. And,
Brilliant.
Yeah, think, you know, always think about the fact that the devil is also ambitious, status.
Yeah.
You know, no disrespect to anybody, but, you know, think of somebody that's actually a big CEO. I'm not going to name any names. Anybody you want to think of. Oh, devil. You know, if you're silly enough to turn around and let me pay you nothing while I actually sit on a luxury yacht and do what I want to do, that's up to you. Don't force you. Oh, but I can't. I've got my mortgage to pay. Not my problem. So what are you? Are you the devil that's actually going, you know what? I worked hard to get where I am. It's easy to turn around and sort of, stand there and look at me. It can have so many meanings. In love readings, it can also just be as complex as that, where they're turning around and saying, you know what, there's no change, we're not committed here, But that would depend on the minor card. So there's so much there. So much there.
Yeah.
It's a real exciting one. And people are always scared. And they always think the devil's someone else. It's an aspect of the person having the reading. It's an aspect of who they're asking about. If it lands in the position of the other person in spreads, which comes up in the courses, so that's in the position of the influences of others, you're looking at the other person 90% more than it's applying to this person. They are already feeling that they're a victim of this. That's probably why they're calling you. Yeah.
Right. Okay,
Yeah.
that's brilliant. That helps a lot.
Lovely.
Quickly before we go, when you said
Absolutely.
about the other card, is it a minor arcana?
Yeah.
Is it the Ten of Swords? I quickly looked through all my pack.
You
That
are fun. No,
was
you
actually
are so. I've got to play
no.
this.
You know
Hold
what I
on.
did? I quickly went through the whole of the pack, and I thought, let me
You're
see if I
right.
can see. And I
You're
saw
right.
it on the ten of
You're
Swords.
right.
Yeah.
You see, and so we're a blessing. And you see in this one, he's kind of almost mocking it. Yeah. But that's because you're
Yeah.
too stupid to realise. So therefore, look at the cross, look at me mocking you. But it's not someone else, it's us. We do that. Oh, you stupid thing. You know where this happens more than anything? When we're actually overeating. When we're eating our words because we're hurting, because we're angry. Been there, seen it, done it, God. Only got to show you sort of videos of me 7 years ago.
My own self. I'm going through the
But we
struggles.
do. We eat our words. And so that's
Yeah.
where we're self-sabotaging. And that's where it's kind of coming in. And it's like, it's not an addiction. We say it is, oh, I'm addicted. Diet Coke. I actually,
Yeah.
believe me, I had a perforated peptic ulcer that shot through my stomach like 2 bullets. I am lucky to be here. I was out of it for a week back in 1999, I think it was. And I survived it. And it's like, they said to me, coffee, cigarette, Diet Coke, and you taking painkillers on an empty stomach. What do you expect? And it's like, but I'm addicted to it. And they went, carry on, you'll be dead.
Yeah.
You saved my life. And that is when I really went to town on sort of, trying to do it. But it was very hard for me because nothing, even now, satisfies my thirst. And that's due to my thyroid problem. But that is just, we can, there you see, oh, I'm a victim. My thyroid is...
Yeah.
Really and truly, my addiction was my own. I liked the taste. And the more I drank it, the more I actually was hooked. Nobody was pushing it down my throat. I did that. There's just a very simple way of actually looking at it. It's not always about, the bogeyman around the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know
Right.
it's not a card to fear for me, but it's more, like I said, that
How to read it for other people. Definitely where it is in the position. Okay, if it comes up in their position, the position of the self, if it's coming up in the position of the self, it's usually it's usually because they're ambitious. Yeah, they're the ones that want to be in control of something. The second card will tell you what. If they're talking about asking about someone else and it's coming up in the position of the others, you could see the control that the other person's gotten them by looking at the mana card.
Okay.
What a shame we can't actually see you on Tuesday because you'd be the one to be leaping up and down. Oh.
Yeah. I know. This is why I
Oh.
said, let me just jump on tonight and speak about it because I know Tuesday, obviously, if I can get to sort of listen and ask quick questions, but actually to come on the live, it would be difficult. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, another time.
No problem. We always love seeing you. Thank you very much. Right, everyone.
And thank you.
I'm not at all. We're going to say bye-bye. So from myself and from Anne, we'll see you next time. And don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget that, you can come on as a guest like Anne. Thank you so much for your time. All the best, everybody. I'm going to play you out. So you know what we're going to look at. This. Bye.
Bye.